to part 5. This is the final part of the video series. So what I've done here is I've matched up all my earrings and I'm taking away anything that won't have an earring post attached to it. So that's any of my hoops, any of the bottoms of my dangles. I'm moving those all to the side so I can just concentrate on gluing my backs on. So I'm pairing them up, making sure that everything's around the right way, flipping them over. It's really important here that you double check that you are actually gluing onto the backs, not the front of your earrings. There'd be nothing worse than making a pair and having your design ruined. So you've got your glue, have that nice and handy. We'll get that all set up in a minute. The next thing that I like to do after I've got my glue out is lay out all of my earring posts. So I like to lay them with the flat part that will go onto your clay, have that sitting on the table just like that, and have the post part stick up. So then it's really easy to just glue onto the post and then pick it up and then stick it onto the earring base there. If it's just kind of jumbled in a pile, you're going to waste time because they're so tiny and so fiddly, picking those up so that you can get a good grip on them. So screw the lid on nice and tight, then once it's on it will have pierced that film and the glue will start coming out. Now be careful, this is very sticky super glue. You don't want this sticking on your hands or anywhere it shouldn't go. So you'll notice that I'm sticking onto the post, not onto the clay, and I just find that you get a bit more control that way. So I've started on my largest stud earrings. That's so I can get a little bit of practice and I know how much glue to put on. Now, when you get your glue on there, you don't really want to have any glue oozing around the sides. So just a tiny bit maybe so you know you've got your glue on there, but pretty much you shouldn't see any glue oozing out from the outside. So you can see when I'm putting it on, I'm just touching that glue onto my earring back and then spreading it out a little bit. That's so I don't have a huge mound of glue building up. If I had a huge amount of glue building up, if I just squeezed it out until it reached the edges of my earring post, then it would be oozing over the sides. So I've started now on my dangle toppers. Now when I'm doing that, I need to be super mindful that none of the post or none of the glue is going to cover the holes. So the holes there are for the jump rings so that I can attach the bottom of my dangles. If I cover those holes, I'm going to find it a bit tricky to get the jump ring through. So remember, this video sped up. This is about 2 times the normal speed, but it is quite quick once you start gluing and once you've got everything set up. So again, being super careful. With my glue, I like to leave it about a day. It does say like a 30-second grip. That's just until it's attached. It's not its strongest bond at that point. So I find leaving it even half a day, you should be fine to be able to work with them to attach your jump rings. So here you can see that I haven't covered up my hole. I can't see my earring post from the front, so I've done a good job gluing those. I'm just going to push everything to the side now because while they're drying, there's a few things that we can do so that we're set up ready to finish our earrings. So one of those things is attaching any hoops. So if you've got the deluxe kit, you will have some hoops there, and we can also get our jump rings ready. So the jump rings, they're those tiny little O circles. You will need your pliers for that. These pliers are spring loaded, so that's going to save your hands. You won't need to pull them apart. So with the pliers, you're going to put the jump ring over the top, get your fingers in between and gently open them up. If you have 2 pliers, you can hold one end of the opening each with your pliers and open it up that way, but one's enough. So once you've opened them up, then you will, once your toppers are dry, be able to finish your earrings off. So you can open up all of your jump rings now, and that's going to save you a bit of prep later on. You can check as you go that you've got the right size just by checking you can slide one of your earring components on. If you've opened it up a little bit and you can't slide it on, no problems, just slide it back onto your pliers and open it up a bit further. So I've got some here that I've prepared earlier, so they're ready to go for when my earring backs are dry. So here I'm going to work on my hoops. I've got everything set up. I've just got 2 pairs of hoops that I'm going to make. Now your hoop, you're just going to open it up. You want to picture that you're putting it through your ear, so the pointy part goes in first and then you'll spin it around. So that's the same way you want to have your earring hanging, so it's facing out of your ear. So pretty much you've got the back of your earring and you're going to thread that post through. Just be gentle, you may need to give it a little bit of a wiggle just because the clay is a little bit thicker. And then hook it through the latch attachment and it's done, ready to go. So again, you're going to get the back of the earring and put that little end bit through, thread it on, and then close the hoops up. I just love it when you finish off a whole pair of earrings and they're just ready to wear. It's my favourite part. So there's another one all done. And another, so through the back, twisting it, just gently easing it through. If you get a bit too enthusiastic with it and you force it through, your clay could crack. So I have come back to this and I've waited a little while and my glue is dry. That white kind of hazing around the edge, that's just from the glue fumes, so there's nothing wrong with it. It will just wipe straight off. You haven't done anything wrong and it hasn't just magically popped up. It is from the glue. So it really only, because it's casting like that white shadow, it's only going to show up really on your black ones or any other super dark colours. Everything else should be fine. So you can move your studs to the side. They're finished as well now. All you need to do is pop the earring backs on. And now we're focusing on our dangles. So if you've taken a photo of how you'd like to assemble your pieces, now's a good time to refer back to those. Otherwise, you can just have a play with different shapes and how you might like to put them together now. So here I'm just setting everything up and I'm going to match my jump rings up so that I know what's going with what. It's going to make my assembly a whole heap quicker. So matching up that I'd like that colour jump ring with that particular pair of earrings. I really hope that you've been enjoying making with polymer clay, making your earrings. This, like I said, is one of my favourite parts where everything gets to come together now. So well done for making your own, giving polymer clay a go. And if it's something that you've just fallen in love with, I will be putting a video up soon about things that you might like to add to your kit or replace in your kit to keep you going on your polymer clay journey. So now that I've got all of my jump rings set out, I'm going to start putting them together. So I've threaded that jump ring on and I'm threading my bottom of my dangle on. I'm just checking that everything's the right way. I haven't put any pieces on backwards. I'm holding my clay like a bit of a sandwich, and then I'm just going to use those pliers to clamp my jump ring shut. Now, you don't want there to be really any gap in your jump ring. If there is, that's where you might get a little bit of hair caught in your pairs of earrings, or just something can catch on it, like if you had a jumper with a knitted turtleneck or something, and that's something you want to avoid. So what you can do is just from the side crimp that jump ring back in. I'll show you when I'm doing that on this next pair. So again, we're threading our pieces onto the jump ring, checking that everything is the right way, and then making a little sandwich. I'm going to close my jump ring up. And now I'm doing a little bit of extra crimping just to make sure that jump rings come together as close as it can, just being super steady as you go. Now here what I've done is I've crimped it a little bit too hard. So no worries if you've done that, we can fix it. We do want to obviously avoid doing that in the first place, but it happens. So we're going to get the nose end of the pliers and wiggle them in and just press them out like what we were doing when we were opening our jump ring up in the first place. So here I am again going in for a bit of a crimp and just closing that jump ring up so it's nice and secure and it's not going to catch on anything. So while we can fix any mistakes at this point with our jump ring, if we've closed it too tight or if it's not closed enough, we can fix that up. We want to do the least amount of bending of these jump rings as possible, just so if you're bending it too much, it's going to weaken it in one spot, and that's something that we want to avoid. So threading it over, making a sandwich, closing it up, and then just giving it a little bit of an extra helping hand to close our circles up. So threading it through, putting the back on, and then closing it up. Once you've finished putting all the jump rings on each of your pairs of earrings, you've only got one step left to go, and that's to choose what earring backs you're going to put on. So there's two different types of backs in your kit. You've got a comfort back. It has a large circle back on it and it just slides on, and you've got a butterfly back. So that's the butterfly back there. It's just nice and small. It's a pretty standard back, and that's perfect for studs and smaller dangle earrings. Now here's the comfort back. It's got a big circle disc on it, and that's going to make sure that your earrings stay flush on your ear. Again, these are perfect for larger dangles or even larger studs. So once you've got your earring backs on all of your earrings, you have completely finished your very own polymer clay earrings. So congratulations, and I hope you have enjoyed the making process.
So here's just a selection of a couple of different earring styles that I've made with the DIY kit. So I've got like a longer dangle. I've put the comfort backs on those ones just because it's a bit longer. I don't want it to pull forward on my ear, I want it to sit flat. So this is what we're looking like for size. And then I've got a pair of triangle studs. I've got the little butterfly back on those ones. So they're just little studs, they're not going to pull on your ear at all. They're super lightweight, it's part of the reason I love polymer clay so much. So nice and cute, I love the size of these ones. And I've got a pair of hoops as well. So with the hoops, when you put them on, kind of like how you put your little dangle on, is you'll just undo it, feed this part through your ear, and hopefully we have put the dangle on the right way, and so that's the detail that you're going to see at the front there. So they're still fairly small. The hoop is a little bit bigger. Obviously you can make these as big or small as you want. I've done them before where I've just put something like this size on there and they're nice and small, or you could make them as big as what you like. So I hope that you've enjoyed watching this video tutorial. I have had so much fun putting this together for you. And thank you so much again for supporting my small business. If polymer clay is something that you think that you would like to explore a little bit further, I've got another video that I'm about to put up, and it goes over all the things that you might want if you're going to expand your kit, and some places in Australia where you could buy some more polymer clay or some more earring findings to keep you going on your polymer clay journey. So I hope you've enjoyed it, and hopefully I'll see you again soon. Bye!